viewers, welcome to ABN TV Political Perspective. My name is Ifani Okali. While in the studio, we have a known philanthropist, your favorite, also a chieftain of Abga, not that person than Chief Alex Ifani Ikwechegh.
Viewers, welcome to ABN TV. Thank you very much for having me, my brother Ifani.
All right, we want to know why you joined politics.
That's a very interesting question. Actually, I dabbled into politics, I must say. My joining politics was actually accidental because I think, if I remember vividly, as a child, I suffered a lot of misfortune growing up. So it became part of me, continued with my personality to naturally struggle for, fight or strive for anything that has to do with injustice. Try to ensure that anybody who is being marginalized or maltreated, I will automatically, instinctively, I will just pick up the fight, if I may put it that way. So in primary school, I know I was monitor, or we used to call it class prefect, and then secondary school, I was, of course, also like a senior prefect during those days, secondary school. And in university, I was quite popular. I didn't run for any of those SUG positions, but I was really quite popular and was known to always come to the aid of those that are being subjected to any form of situation that doesn't tell well of our society. Then in politics, how did I even join? I remember in 2003, 2002-2003, when the then governor, Ikwechegh, was still in power. We would go register, and I would mobilize a few of my friends to go and register to vote. And automatically, maybe because of my color and those things that I used to do for different people, people would just listen to me because, you know, when people are having problems, I would come in, help them, and people just followed me. Whatever I told them to do, they would do. Being someone that would genuinely try to protect the interests of the less privileged, people would naturally gravitate towards me. So somehow I became an influencer of men. And then that election of 2003, the re-election of Dr. Ikwechegh was done, and I played my role, and then he became governor for a second time. In 2005, I remember we were constituting, like 2006, we were constituting a body, a campaign body for the former governor back then, and because of my disposition, social disposition then, I was picked to serve as a director of campaign, director of mobilization, and we did the job, and the then aspirant became governor. So that's basically how I came into politics, and I was made deputy chairman then. When I became deputy chairman of Abanot Local Government Council by appointment, I remember then I was quite young. I was still in my mid. How old? I was I think 26 years old back then, and you know, that was the first time a young boy of my age would be allowed to, you know, be in the helm of affairs. So young people naturally gravitated towards me because, you know, a guy that is generally known as, it will be popularly said, in the street. So people were happy because then they gave young people a sense of belonging. Every young person that knew me when I was struggling, when I owned a barber shop in Umule, when I owned a snooker joint in Umule, when I was struggling, going to school, also running around, selling different things, selling okreka at Ahiohoro, bending down to select, all those different things that I did back then. So when I sort of got closer to the political class and then started to mobilize, started to do some of these things, people naturally were happy because a young person who is part of them had been allowed to come into the political arena, political environment. So that's basically how I dabbled into politics. So I served as a deputy chairman, and I served very well because then I was, of course, also in business. I had graduated from the university back then, so I was in business. I was a trader. I was buying trucks from the United States. I was selling, and then I had some money because I was in business. So whatever I was making from a local government, my salary and my impress, which was I think about 300 and something thousand, I was using to service widows. Being a young man that lost his parents at a very young age, at the age of 11, I was quite compassionate about the plight of some of those our party faithfuls. So I would use those monies to help them out. Every month I put some of those widows and young people on salaries, since I had other sources of income. So somehow one thing led to another, I became quite popular for those things. I didn't know those things were actually helping accelerate my political career. However, it's just something that I'm used to, something that I like to do, just helping out people, something that makes me happy. People have different things that make them happy. Some people like buying nice things, some people like living in big houses, and some people just like helping people out. They might have 10 naira and they'll spend 8 naira helping people out, and they are comfortable with that 2 naira that is left. So I guess that's the category where I fall into.
All right. You have been in PDP 2003 to just this year. You notice that you left PDP to APGA. One thing is, the question we actually need is, why do you leave PDP for? From 2003 till now, you are with PDP and you've contested severally under the platform of PDP. So why do you leave PDP to APGA?
Well, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. The truth is, from 2002, 2003, we were in PDP. Sometime in 2006, we went to PPA. And when we went to PPA, we were in PPA till from 2006 till about 2010. Then I resigned from politics. I left politics to go pursue, to strengthen my company. Like I said earlier, I was into importation of different things, and I had to go strengthen my business. So when I came back, of course, in 2017-18 to back to politics, of course, the people that I left in 2010 and proceeded to the private sector to go strengthen my company, like I said, I had to go back to my natural family. And when I came back, I noticed that things were no more the way they used to be when I left. Things had changed, and things had, if I may say, were just not the way I left it. Back then in politics, when there was a saying, and in politics, I believe the natural regimen of politics or of a party is to field candidates that can win election. Field candidates that can, make the party proud. People that would identify with the people, the electorates. The general goal is to see how we can impact positively on the lives of the electorates. That's how I learned politics. You come in, you do the little you can for the people, try to create policies, government policies that can help to better the lives of the people, give them the materials they need to do business and excel in the businesses, strive in the businesses, give them infrastructure, give them all the amenities they need to succeed. But when I came, I noticed that it was more about self when I came back. So being someone who has been in the private sector, we are honest people. I want to buy a phone, say this phone now from you, I give you money, you tell me you're going to give me the phone, then you give me the phone, then I buy it and I go. If I need a service, we agree, we shake hands, and honesty is, I believe, one of the elements that you need to really excel. And when you're dealing with someone, you have a conversation with someone, that conversation becomes sacrosanct, and you're called a man of your word, and I am called a man of my word. That is why we're called honorables in politics. So politicians are meant to be honorable men. But when I came back to the People's Democratic Party, what I saw was totally slightly different from the then People's Democratic Party that I knew. And I mean, they say in the Igbo, say here, you have seen other states, and so I believe you can answer the rest of the question. However, when I came and I noticed that it wasn't really working well, I mean, let's tell ourselves the truth. We're all Igbos. I'm a confirmed Igbo man. You can see I'm wearing my Isiago. So I'm wearing my natural, traditional Igbo attire. This might not be Isiago, but it's within the family of Isiago. APGA happens to be a party that the man we have all generally accepted is our Igbo leader formed. And within this period, we have seen the way APC and PDP, these various political parties have been sort of captured. APC can be said to be our Northern Brothers party. That party belongs to our Northern Brothers and most of our Yoruba brothers. PDP can be said to be a party that belongs to our Niger Delta brothers. And we have always clamored that this regional system that we once practiced in the 70s, that we should revert to that system. This is my opinion. I mean, I stand corrected. I mean, this is just my own humble opinion. I feel that Igbos have been marginalized long enough, and for Igbos to really have a shot at the presidency, because our brothers will not just wake up one day and say, oh, we like Igbos now we're going to make them bring out a candidate, a person from the Igbo extraction, the Southeastern extraction, and make him president. I know that politics is a power play, and you have to negotiate politics, you have to negotiate power from an area of strength. So I sort of clinically examined the entire situation and politically, and I felt the right thing to do would be to be an advocate of Party Igbo, an advocate of us coming together and building a strong common front. APGA belongs to Igbo, and if we're able to, avoid this whole issue of coming into APGA, winning election, and jumping ship to a different political party, maybe we may have a shot of truly fighting, struggling, and gaining some political positions, and then proceeding to other states, from Anambra, say, to Abia, from Abia maybe to Imo, from Imo to Ebonyi, and then we can have a shot at the presidency where we can all come together as a people that can be said to be people of the Southeast, and then we can negotiate for political power. Even if we are not getting presidency, we will at least get vice. I mean, if you look at the plight of the Igbo man, since the days of Alex Ekweme, we have not even been given the opportunity to present a deputy president, and it's pathetic. It's appalling, actually. So I felt if one must preach change, you should start by changing your perception in politics, and then live by example, and then others will follow.
All right, you're still on your favorite program, ABN TV Political Perspective, with Chief Alex Ikwechegh. We'll take a short break and we'll come back.
ABN is at it again. It's time for the real visible and political leadership project evidence in Nigeria. Get ready for the most detailed online TV and radio program tagged Operation Show Your Project. Operation Show Your Project. Showing every Thursday 11 a.m. on ABN TV and radio. Operation Show Your Project is the authentic platform for all elected and appointed leaders in politics at all levels to showcase their accomplishments within the period in office. For project documentation and production, contact us today on 0816-634-7017. On 0816-634-7017. Operation Show Your Project comes up every Thursday at 11 a.m. on ABN TV and radio. Be part of the testimony.
The biggest bang of the season is about to go down. It's the ABN TV Service Awards 2022 at Sheraton's Hotels, Abuja.
ABN is at it again. It's time for the real visible and political leadership project evidence in Nigeria. Get ready for the most detailed online TV and radio program tagged Operation Show Your Project. Operation Show Your Project. Showing every Thursday 11 a.m. on ABN TV and radio. Operation Show Your Project is the authentic platform for all elected and appointed leaders in politics at all levels to showcase their accomplishments within the period in office. For project documentation and production, contact us today on 0816-634-7017. On 0816-634-7017. Operation Show Your Project comes up every Thursday at 11 a.m. on ABN TV and radio. Be part of the testimony.
The biggest bang of the season is about to go down. It's the ABN TV Service Awards 2022 at Sheraton's Hotels, Abuja. The biggest bang of the season is about to go down. It's the ABN TV Service Awards 2022 at Sheraton's Hotels, Abuja. The biggest bang of the season is about to go down. It's the ABN TV Service Awards 2022 at Sheraton's Hotels, Abuja.
All right, welcome back to the program Political Perspective on ABN TV. Well, still on the studio with Chief Alex Ikwechegh. Yes, he is an Abga chieftain talking about his defection.
Actually, I'm running for Abba South Federal Constituency, House of Representatives, where our dear brother, my dear brother and friend, O.C. Prestige, was holding sway for us at the National Assembly. My dear friend, may his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. So to answer your question, you asked why I defected from PDP and to ABGA.
Yes.
My position has always been simple. Like I said, I have been in the private sector, and in the private sector we do things accordingly. When you have been charged to do a duty, when that duty is done and done diligently, you are rewarded for that duty by way of maybe payment or by way of recommendation or whatever. That is, it's a system of allowing institutions to grow. But when that institution becomes rigged, when it's rigged in such a way that it no more follows the doctrine or the pattern that allows individuals within that institution to grow and to continuously build that institution, then everything crumbles. PDP is a party that was formed by a lot of people that are now in different political parties. Part of the reasons why I left PDP is because of this whole political imposition of a thing, where individuals are picked by the so-called leaders of the party without even being in any way in any way relevant to the party, in any way helpful to the party, and also in any way reaching out to members of the community. PDP is a party where individuals are picked, presented, elections conducted, and they're imposed on the people. From my understanding, like I said initially when we were doing politics, when you come into politics, you begin to struggle to climb the ranks. You begin to take care of the people. You begin to do things for the people. You begin to take care of members of the party. You begin to do things for them. You could be rewarded as someone who is naturally generous, naturally compassionate about the plight of the people, naturally interested in the progressiveness of the people. But when you do these things, the leaders of the party begin to take notice of you, and then people begin to recommend you for positions depending on how efficient, effective that you are in the party. Excuse me.
Sorry.
But the current day PDP has become a party where you are given positions because of who you know, because of how close you are to the people that are in charge. But APGA is different. APGA is a position where you begin to work hard to see that you touch lives, and those lives you touch, and then you are rewarded for those lives you touch. Politics, as far as I'm concerned, you have to be popular, you have to be loved, and if you're loved by the people, it is only right that you're given the opportunity to serve the people. When I was in PDP, I started struggling, I started striving. When I came back to politics, we have all seen how Aba is. I started working really hard to see that I represent the people of Aba in the Green Chamber. As I was working really hard, I had conversations with my brother and friend, Chief O.C. Prestige, and we were about to conclude before he passed away. May his soul rest in peace. I was in PDP, he was in APGA, and we were working harmoniously towards just helping our Aba people. Then I would, engage in some of this, my kerosene distribution, fuel distribution, distribution of food, scholarships, the schools that we have renovated, different things that we have done that is related to philanthropy. And as we were doing those things, the PDP, then the party where I belong to, they were seeing those things that we were doing. And they knew that the people wanted Alex Ikwechegh to represent them in the Green Chamber, or even in any other political capacity. But they kept quiet till the very last minute, where they brought a guy who didn't even plan to run for the position, who did not have the capacity to run for the position, and they imposed the guy on the people. A man who I strongly believe is not educated, a man who does not have school papers. They brought the man and imposed it on Aba people. Aba is a city that I believe has crossed that threshold of, let me just take someone and impose that person on Aba people and its environs. I think Aba is a city that has grown so much that if we must bring people to represent us in Aba and even Abia, these people need to be men that truly mean well for the people, not men that will come in and begin to struggle to buy nice clothes for themselves, to buy nice clothes for their wives, to buy possibly buy a house for themselves and buy nice things for themselves. We need people that have already excelled in business. We need people that just want to serve, people that have done well in the private sector, people that are not coming to look for money, people that truly want to work for them, people that have something up here, people that can actually come in, make policies, help their people to grow. Part of the problems that we're having in Nigerian politics is that we always go out there and pick people that are not prepared for political offices. We pick them, we compel them to come and run for office, and then they come in, they don't know what to do because they're not prepared for the office. And then they begin to, because when you're not prepared, you don't have a blueprint. When you don't have a blueprint, you don't have a plan. When you don't have a plan, you're just going to hover around. And when you hover and hover for 4 years, you're out. Maybe you begin to hover again for another 4 years, you're out. And then there's really nothing that you can really pinpoint and say, okay, these are the things that I have achieved. So when I noticed the whole issue of imposition in the party, people imposing people that are not prepared for political positions, they impose them to the people. The party people continue to complain. These people, they come in, they don't do anything for the party, they don't do anything for the award chairman, they don't do anything for the LG chairman, they don't do anything for the people that have elected them into office. When we saw these things, we became worried. We'd have conversations with the people that we felt were in the right places to make changes. But when we noticed nothing was being done, we had to, I mean, I'm glad that the Constitution allows one to, you know, have a substitute party where you can go out there and sell your vision to them, and if they buy it, they give you the ticket, and then you can come out and speak to the people, and if the people feel that you're telling the truth and that they want you to work for them, they work for them. In 2020, you know, we were preparing. When in 2021, when we unfortunately we lost my brother O.C. Prestige, I was preparing to run for this election. When it got to time to run for the election, only one form was made available. The party PDP made only one form available, and that form was given to the candidates of choice, the candidates that they felt they wanted to impose on the people, not the candidates that people wanted. When that form was brought, I had to just, you know, give up entirely. So you can see what is happening currently also in the PDP, where a candidate.
You mean Abia PDP?
Yes, the current day Abia PDP, where another candidate who is about 70-something years old has also been imposed on the people. A man that has never been in the party, a technocrat, former VC of Abia State University, how he ran Abia State University, well, you can inquire and find out. This person has also been imposed on the people of Abia State. We are just trying to recover from a 70-something-year-old man who became president of Nigeria. You need stamina to do this business of politics. You need stamina. Sometimes I stay awake till 3 o'clock, 4 a.m., still attending to people. You need stamina. You need a young, fresh mind that can pull strings. So when you really take time to study the environment, you ask yourself, is this really a party where you want to be? A party that doesn't allow people to willingly, instinctively pursue their political aspirations. A party where you work, devote your time, invest your money, invest everything, and then they will subdue you and, you know, ensure that you do not grow. In Abia State, citizens are not asking for much. Just do roads, provide security, you know, ensure that the civil servants are paid, ensure that the state is running smoothly. Abians are resilient people. We're not asking for much, but all these things are so difficult for the people in government to do. And then you begin to wonder. And then the room for members of the party to come out and pursue their political aspirations is also a problem, because someone somewhere will sit on you and tell you that you're not supposed to do it. Part of the, I don't believe we should be running a tyrannical system of government. I believe political parties should be lenient to members of their party. So you can see people going to court, getting injunctions, insisting that things should be done the right way in PDP. I'm no more in PDP. I'm a member of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, a party that I believe belongs to Ndibo. Party that I believe is not corrupt. I mean, of course, there are bad eggs everywhere, but I'm in a party where you can actually come out, pursue your political aspirations, pursue it vigorously.
Oh, sorry, do you mean Abia PDP is corrupt when you say APGA is not corrupt?
My dear brother, Abia PDP is not a party that I want to belong to. If you give me even ticket to run for governorship in Abia PDP, I will not run. I will not take it. I will not run for it.
Why?
Well, part of the reasons is because PDP is a party that hasn't done well for the people of Abia. You can see our roads. You can see the condition of Abia State. I'm not here to chastise anyone or to critique anyone or to criticize anyone. I'm here to speak the truth. Let us all tell ourselves the truth. Abia is the worst developed state in the southeast, if not in the country. There's a reason for this. This is not just, it didn't just happen. There's a reason why this is happening. I know Keze to be a fine gentleman, but I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what's going on.
All right, talking about your party, ABGA in Abia State, do you think ABGA will win?
Oh, sure. ABGA will win. Why won't ABGA win? I mean, PDP is the biggest campaigner of ABGA, as far as I'm concerned.
What about APC?
Well, you have seen the state of the country. So, of course, you can tell that APC has failed Nigeria woefully. And, of course, I mean, APC is not on ground. But when you speak about ABGA, ABGA is a party that our Igbo brothers and our Igbo sisters, mothers, young people have realized that we must begin to build a party that belongs to the Igbo. I am always very passionate when I speak about ABGA because this is our identity. This is our Igbo identity, ABGA. I urge every Igbo man, be you a banker, be you a lecturer, a nurse, a doctor, onye agboro, onye wheelbarrow, onye na-azwa henima ariaria, onye na-azwa arụ as a secretary, ndị lewo onye Igbo, everywhere you are, go and pick up your ABGA party card. Let us at least embrace our Igbo party and do far better than other political parties. We've seen the way Peter Obi ran Anambra State. We've seen the way Obiano followed suit. And today, Soludo is the governor of Anambra State and he is doing absolutely well. So you can see that there's a trajectory that ABGA has followed. And we don't just elect maybe Denango Boroko. The other day I was in Anambra State and I was conversing with a few political office holders. And I'll ask maybe a commissioner, say, what were you doing before you got into politics? Say, tell me, I used to work for Boeing, a company that produces planes before I started working for, became a political appointee. I meet another person, I say, what were you doing before? He say, I used to work for Nexum Bank. I meet another person, I say, where were you working? He said, no, I used to work for Exxon Bank. So someone say, I used to work for Exxon Mobil. And then I began to ask myself, what is going on with Abia? What do you expect when a government is afraid of citizens that have gone, excelled in business, excelled in life, and then come back to invest their intellect into the political system, and then they become uncomfortable? How will the party grow? How will the state grow? This is one of the biggest challenges we're having in Abia State, a situation whereby the government in power is not comfortable with intelligent people. You're more comfortable with people that are into just sitting around and they will be collecting monies from you and have nothing to offer. You can never give what you don't have. You can never give what you don't have. ABGA is a party that picks the best. Look at someone, what do you do? What were you doing before you got into politics? And they will look at you, screen you, identify the best in you, and then use you to bring about a progressive society for our people to continue to thrive. So there are so many things that is wrong with PDP. So many. And of course, some of these things are evident in the polity today. You can see governorship aspirants fighting for their rights, asking why lists, there was no Congress done, ad hoc selection of 3-man delegates done, and then there's also an imposition of people that the party people don't even know, and then you impose them on the people, and then you don't even allow other people to run for office, and then just allow a fair, level playing ground for people to excel. I believe the people should be able to choose their leaders. It's not a bad thing for people to choose their leaders. If the man is popular, why not allow the man to go? You see, we shouldn't be running a tyrannical system of government. We should allow people to choose who they want to govern them. This is 2022. This is not 1935. We thank His Excellency for even signing the Electoral Act bill, where people can at least vote their conscience and vote who they want. It is high time we should abolish this antiquated system where some guy will sit in some old scruffy chair and determine who governs the state. And then when you bring in the person, the loyalty of that person is not to the people, it's not to the masses, rather it's to that godfather. That godfatherism in PDP is what I am totally against, and that is why I'm in ABGA. ABGA Okoto Orie. If you are able to struggle and convince the people to vote for you, the people will vote for you, and then you work for the people. If the people give you the mandate and you do not work for the people will come together again after a couple of years and throw you out. And that is the way it should be.
All right, so another primaries is here. This week, you are going for a primary. Some other years back, you did your primaries under PDP, and now you are here for ABGA. What is in your mind?
Okay, first of all, Ifeanyi, other years, I've only run for one political office, and that was the position of local government chairman. That was the one that I went for primaries against my good friend and brother Paul Ikone and my good friend and brother Chief David Chibu, and I won that primaries. The last one that was done during the by-election in 2021, there was no primary.
Okay.
The governor only
was selected.
Yes, the governor only brought one nomination form, which he handed over to this young man.
Then you were interested.
I was interested, of course. The people wanted me, but I don't know, for some reason, this new law was created that there should be a consensus. And a few people somewhere decided that they will bring a guy that didn't have the finances to run for this office, didn't have the intellect to run for this office, didn't have the decorum to run for this office, nothing. And then that person was picked, and the form was given to the person, and it's as if there's no representation in the house for Aba North and Aba South people. And I want to challenge the PDP to bring this individual and put him in a seat. Let me, himself and I, let us have a conversation about the welfare of the people of Aba. Let us see if he will oblige, but I'm sure he will not. So there hasn't been any other political office that I have been able to run for, because PDP never gave us the opportunity, and that is why we left. On Thursday or Friday, the primaries for House of Representatives in ABGA will be conducted, and I am confident that I will win. I have a couple of reasons why I'm confident that I will win. I am an Abian, and I am a responsible Abian at that. I have served, I was born in Abia, I lived in Abia, I served in Abia, I have excelled in Abia, and I want to serve the people of Abia. If God will permit me to move forward and serve the people of Nigeria, I would also like to do so. But I am a confirmed Abian, and I will serve my people, God willing. I am also an educated person. I have all my paperwork to prove this fact. My paperwork is not questionable. I would not be removed by any court if I eventually won for
this election. We would like to know
election.
most of your qualifications.
Well, I will start by my where I attended primary school. I attended Immaculate Nursery School. I attended Constitution Christian Primary School. I started with Sacred Heart College in Aba, that's popularly known as Sahako. I proceeded to Hope Model Training Institute in Calabar. From there I took JAMB, and I got admission in University of Calabar to study business management. I finished that, and then I have a second degree in psychology in the University of Essex, London. And for now, those are the 2 degrees that I have. I am a man that knows what I want. And I am a man that feels that I have done well in the private sector. Therefore, I should be able to impact a little bit of knowledge that I have extracted from the public and the private sector into the system of governance to add value to the system of governance. Abia needs help. Abia needs help. Abia totally needs help, and we have devoted our life, our entire existence to pulling out our people, to pull them out from these impracticable problems that we find ourselves, to these perennial problems that we find ourselves. The entire institution of Abia has collapsed, and we are just hoping that intellectuals, intelligent people, people that are not just after money, people that want to make a name. You know, the difference between Oyibo people and us is that Oyibo people want to make a name. You see somebody, he produces one thing, he wants to make a name for himself. You see somebody climbing one tall mountain because he just wants to make a name. We have already excelled in business. I'm not saying that I'm Dangote, but I'm saying we have excelled in business. Money is not our problem as we speak. Our problem is how can I be bringing back my children to Aba? I'm an Aba boy. Many people like Charlie Boy, them are Aba boys. Oputa is an Aba boy. Our national chairman, Chifikoye, is an Aba boy. A lot of prominent Nigerians started from Aba and Yoko. These are all Aba boys. Aba used to be the London and the America that our young people wanted to go to in the 60s, the 50s, in the 70s, and in the 80s. That Aba used to be a city where you would go to make it. It shouldn't. Aba is a strong city. The glory, the integrity of Aba should be allowed it should be reinstated, if you ask me. But Aba has been subjected to, as a matter of fact, the situation of Aba is pitiful. And that is why some of us have invested our money, our time. They say Southeast is not safe, we're here. They say they will kidnap you, we're here. They say everything, things will go wrong, they will do it, we're here. There's no, everybody's struggling, we're here. We're spending money, we're spending our time to make sure that we find a way to deliver our people from these perennial problems that they find themselves in.
All right, Aba North, Aba South. Then we also have Onyacha, Aba. So what are you going to do for them?
Well, you see, the position of House of Representatives is a technical one. Most times people don't really understand the role that a representative, someone representing the constituency in the National Assembly, what they're supposed to do. Part of what I'm going to do is to, of course, attract projects, to be able to use my experience to speak for the people of Aba in the National Assembly and ensure that the federal government does what they are supposed to do for our people, do what they are supposed to do for our people, by way of pulling projects into Abia, ensuring that some of our dilapidated roads are put in the budget, and to follow up on those roads to ensure that development comes into the state, into the city of Aba, into the constituency of Aba, given the commercial nature of the city, government knowing that if there's a form of concentration in Aba as it concerns infrastructure, vigorous concentration, that it will only open more doors economically for Nigeria holistically, looking at it. And my major reason for wanting to go to the National Assembly to make laws is this, and I've said it indefatigably, that I will champion the crusade of reducing funds that are appropriated to politicians and reducing funds that's dropping down on the level of funds given to, I'm sure the politicians will not like what I'm about to say, but this is my main goal. You cannot appropriate a very minute, a meager amount of money for education and security and infrastructural development, and then you channel a voluminous amount of money for allowances paid to political office holders, travel allowance, ESTA codes, wardrobe allowance, vehicles that people are buying, plenty vehicles. You buy them, you use them for 3 years, they monetize them, and people live with these vehicles, and then already monies are heaped in piled on top of the purchase of these vehicles. Then people who live with these vehicles, they are not able to maintain these vehicles because we don't have roads, and then the next dispensation comes in, and then they start buying vehicles again. You know, plenty wastages. Part of my mission in the National Assembly will be to kick against this. If you don't have a car, I have cars. I'm a businessman. I have done well in my business. I have cars. I don't expect anybody to give me a car. If government decides to give us a vehicle, it shouldn't be a vehicle of luxury. It shouldn't be, we're here to serve our people. We're not here to enjoy. Politics is supposed to be about service. Politics is supposed to be a sacrifice. Not just a situation whereby you continue to milk the pulse of government. It's not taking us anywhere. So my goal will be to concentrate vigorously in trying to ensure that our people are able to invest, the federal government is able to inject monies in capital projects and then reduce the cost of running government drastically, so that our people will be able to channel monies in truly in those things that matter. So that's one of my biggest I must say mission in government.
Okay, still on the what you want to do for them. You said about roads, you said about jobs. So how are you going to create all this? How are you going to implement all this?
Okay, for instance, I'm a businessman, and we work as a business person. I'm an employer of labor, even though I don't have any government platform that is helping me. I do business with Chinese, I do business with Arabs, I do business with Europeans. As a private business person, if I'm in government, I understand that productivity is the only thing that can help to develop a society. Building stadiums and building building places where people halls, where people will have meetings, and all these different trivialities and frivolities will not help us. I understand economics, and for you to grow as a people, you need to produce. Aba is a city that is known for production. Aba is more of an industrial city that is gradually fizzling off to become an Okada city, a Keke na Pepe city, which is wrong. I remember back in those days we used to have a place called BTC, Boys Technical College, where people will be trained and taught how to produce different things. We will have to revert back to that old system, where we will have young Aba people that are making leather shoes. We'll try to, put forth a bigger stage where people can sell their products to maybe foreign designers that will also, sort of create some type of partnership with them so that we can showcase our Aba products. And for these things to happen, you need someone that has the political will, the contacts, someone that understands business, not just someone who was following some politician around and was made councillor, and from there they asked the person to give the person form, and then the person should now come and run for office that has nothing to offer. But someone who has been in business for a long time, someone who has done well in business, and someone who understands the dynamics of business, someone who can broker deals and put our people on the right path. So part of what we're going to do is to find a way to re-industrialize Aba, where we'll bring in Israelis and or Egyptians and begin to make our own white cement here in Aba at the Express at Osisioma, where we will bring in Chinese people that will begin to tutor our people on how to make foil in Aba. We shouldn't be importing toothpicks. We can make our own toothpicks. We shouldn't be importing sanitizer. We can create our own.
All right, Chief, you've talked about the road, talked about job creation. Are there other things you feel you can do?
Oh, sure. Of course, you know, you're in the country. You've seen the way our economy is. I'm not saying emphatically that it's the fault of the government of Abia, but I'm saying it's just everything has to do with the situation of the country. Everything has to do with bad leadership. Today, kerosene is 800 naira per liter. I mean, how would you expect a poor widow to feed her family? How would you expect a single mother to feed her family, maybe of 4 kids, if you're only buying 1 liter of kerosene at 800 naira per liter? How do you expect someone to buy a barber, someone who's in barber shop? How do you expect the person to run his barber salon? How much does he charge the people he's cutting their hair to buy fuel for 400 and something, or to buy diesel for 700 and something naira 1 liter? How many times will he turn on his generator to cut people's hair? So you can see that the country is practically falling apart, because we are dealing with old men that have been running the system, you know, in their usual antiquated ways. This is 2022. If a young person that is pragmatic, a young person that is idealistic, a young person that is productive comes into power and is able to sort of lure young people to re-engage them into agriculture, find a way to attract foreign investment into Aba. Aba is a place where, Aba is a virgin land where we can introduce different things. Like I was saying, you can set up small scale industries where people are taught how to make different things, different products. I spoke about foil, I spoke about even toothpicks. You can see the trending market of some of these traditionals we wear. Most of these things that are most of these type of things I'm wearing are worn in every part of the country, because our Aba people have been able to ossify this particular area, and most of the people selling these things are doing well. So people come from Abuja, people come from Kogi, people come from different places to buy these things. This chair that we are sitting on, Aba people can make these chairs very well, but government just needs to encourage them. These people are not interested in working. These people are just interested in packing monies and not knowing what to do with these monies. A poor man, a man that is mentally poor will always steal what he doesn't need. What Abia needs, what Aba needs, is someone who is ideally, someone who can conceive ideas and bring them to fruition. What Aba needs is someone who can rattle the youth demographic, get them to engage in production, producing different things, coming up with ideas on how these things can be made convenient for them. Carpenters encouraged, tailors encouraged, artisans encouraged, for them to have their jobs done. You might not make money off that encouragement, but your duty as their leader, political leader, is to show them a path that they will follow, that will stir the economy of that city and make people to pick up. Look at how much kerosene are sold. That's why I keep distributing kerosene. I would pay 1 million naira to different filling stations and distribute kerosene and tell them to go and take kerosene, even if it's just 3, 4, 5 liters, just to sort of cushion the problem. Because I can't call these people and give them money. I don't know how to find them. You see the legion of people that come out to collect those kerosenes. You see the prayers that those people pray. The other day, a woman was, how many liters did she get? 4 liters. And she was crying. She said, today I'm able to feed my family because I am able to cook for my people. That she has a day in her house. And when I remember these things, I'm emotional. I'm emotional because people are suffering every day. People die because of just 1,000 naira Panadol that they could not afford to buy. Is it not hurtful? Is it not painful? And these people are just sitting down packing monies. What will you do with these monies? Even if you do not know how to run government and carry your people along, why can't you get technocrats, smart people, economists, let them come together, people that have excelled in life, because you can't give what you don't have. You make policies, you study the situation of the economy clinically, and then you make policies that will make way for people's businesses to thrive. People are struggling, and then you tax them
You tax them. You tax them. And when you tax them indiscriminately. And then, at the end of the day, the ripple effect is still negatively affecting those people. People build houses, you pull them down. And then you say you want to do roads, and you don't do the roads. People build shops, you pull them down. And you say you want to build new shops, and you don't build the shops. My brother, which way Nigeria? How do we progress like this? People that you have been elected to protect, you're now the one subjugating those people, pushing them into penury. I think that there should be a rethink.
All right, when you said something about health sector, so how are you going to improve health sector?
Of course, you're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to do our best to make sure that we reduce the cost of running government and invest monies in areas of interest. Health. Look at people dying every day. I've spoken about people dying because of Panadol Extra. Inject money into our health care system, where we'll bring in doctors from all over the world to train our people. It's called exchange programs. There are foundations in London, in Switzerland, you have the Red Cross. You have so many of them, but our politicians are not exposed enough to know these organizations, to even research on them, that you can align with, that will on their own fly into this country and train our doctors and even donate medical equipment to you. But of course, we have funds to run this country, and this country will look like Dubai. We can actually make this country like Dubai. Nigeria is richer than Dubai. But our leaders don't just have a clue of what to do. And like I said, you can never give what you don't have. If you bring a man that is not intellectually sound, that has no idea of what to do, that has never done business and excelled in business, you will always fail. Because the man doesn't have an idea of what to do. So he thinks that when he takes money, he just puts it in his pocket and buy a bada and buy some nice cars and then begin to blow siren. No, that is not the issue. That is not government. Government is sacrifice. You have to stay up at nights, search for ways and means to make the lives of your people better. If we invest money in our education system to educate our children, to get them up to date with global activities, then we ensure that they go to school. We pay our teachers, pay our lecturers, so that within 4 years those children have gone to school, they are out. We try to study and identify areas where they are efficient. We encourage them. The ones that like to do entertainment, we encourage them. The ones that like to invent, we encourage them. The ones that like to do financing, accounting, we encourage them. We push them towards that direction. Then you have the best of students in different fields. But these politicians, they don't know these things, because we are all created specially in different ways with different talents. So the onus is on our leaders to find ways I always keep saying this, to find ways to sort of channel their citizens towards the right path. That is the number one responsibility of leaders, to provide security for businesses to thrive, to provide an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Nobody's saying give them money. Just do roads. Ensure that the police, the military, the civil service, the civil defense, all the people that are supposed to help uphold law, judiciary, ensure that they are well motivated, ensure that whatever allowance that is supposed to get to them gets to them. Live by example, so that those people will be afraid and also live the same type of life that you're not. When you're stealing, you expect somebody else not to steal. But when you are living by example, you automatically, because energy is contagious, when you live by example, those people also follow suit and live by the same example that you have set. So for me, it's a holistic thing that has deteriorated to almost an uncontrollable and unconceivable level. It is now, the onus is now on us to find ways to reduce cost of running government, find ways to ensure that monies are appropriated properly to the health sector, infrastructure, education. I speak about education very passionately because information is power. When a child is educated, you have armed that child with everything the child needs to succeed in life. But when you don't have, for instance, schools are on strike, universities are on strike, children are being kidnapped, So how do we fix it? We need people that are idealistic. We need people that truly want to serve. Business as usual should be kept in abeyance for now and forever, so that people that are idealistic can come in and propound solutions to these problems. That is my submission.
All right, so we're going back to your foundation. Alex.
Ikwechegh Foundation.
Ikwechegh Foundation. Well, it's a good one. Last 2 years, we went to about ABN TV went to a little town, what we call Operation Show Your Project. So it was a coincidence we met some people at one filling station. The name was should be retired, but we met some people. They were so happy, this crazy that old woman, men, we are so happy. We asked the question, why are you people happy? They said, Alex, Ikwechegh Foundation. Other people, they said, Onyo Chanaba. Say a lot of things, Onyo Chanaba. So, actually, we learned everything is from the founder of Alex Ikwechegh Foundation. So, tell us the secret about all that.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. The project that you witnessed is just one of those projects that we usually do a couple of times a year. We engage, the foundation, Alex Ikwechegh Foundation, engages in a lot of empowerment programs for the people. I believe the one that you were talking about is the one we did in 2020, where we had a 3-day empowerment program done in Aba. I think the first day we distributed food. I think that was during COVID, or immediately after the lockdown, the 2 or 1 month lockdown.
During the COVID, yes.
Yes. We bought trailer loads of Indomie. I was actually stuck in London then, but we were still able to coordinate it because of the fine people that we work with in the foundation. We managed to distribute food items the first day. We distribute trailer loads of Indomie. We distribute thousands of bags of rice, which we submerged into 10-liter bag.
And now, you're with PDP, and you've contested severally under the platform of PDP. So why do you leave PDP to Aka?
Well, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. The truth is, from 2002-2003, we were in PDP. Sometime in 2006, we went to PPA. And when we went to PPA, we were in PPA till from 2006 till most of the people selling these things are doing well. So people come from Abuja, people come from Kogi, people come from different places to buy these things. This chair that we are sitting on, Apa people can make these chairs very well. Pushing them into penury. I think that there should be a rethink.
All right, when you said something about health sector, so how are you going to improve health sector in Aka?
Of course, you're going to, like I said earlier, I always keep saying this, to find ways to sort of channel their citizens towards the right path. That is the #1 responsibility of leaders, to provide security for businesses to thrive, to provide an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Nobody's saying give them money. Just do roads. Ensure that the police, the military, the civil service, the civil defense, all the people that are supposed to help uphold law, judiciary, ensure that they are well motivated, ensure that whatever allowance that is supposed to get to them gets to them. Live by example so that those people will be afraid and also live the same type of life that you're not. When you're stealing, you expect somebody else not to steal. But when you are living by example, you automatically, because energy is contagious, when you live by example, those people also follow suit and live by the same example that you have set. So for me, it's a holistic thing that has deteriorated to almost an uncontrollable and unconceivable way, level. It is now, the onus is now on us to find ways to reduce cost of running government, find ways to ensure that monies are appropriated properly to the health sector, infrastructure, education, I speak about education very passionately because information is power. When a child is educated, you have armed that child with everything the child needs to succeed in life. But when you don't have, for instance, schools are on strike, universities are on strike, children are being kidnapped. So how do we fix it? We need people that are idealistic. We need people that truly want to serve. Business as usual should be kept in abeyance for now and forever, so that people that are idealistic can come in and propound solutions to these problems. That is my submission.
All right, so we're going back to your foundation. Alex.
Ikwechegh Foundation.
Ikwechegh Foundation. Well, it's a good one. Last 2 years, we went to about ABN TV went to a little tour, what we call Operation Show Your Project. So it was a coincidence we met some people at one filling station. The name should be retired, but we met some people. They were so happy, this praising that old woman, men. We are so happy. We asked the question, why are you people happy? They said, Alex Ikwechegh Foundation. Other people, they said, Onyo Chanaba. Say a lot of things, Onyo Chanaba. So, actually, we learned everything is from the founder of Alex Ikwechegh Foundation. So, tell us the secret about all that.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. The project that you witnessed is just one of those projects that we usually do a couple of times a year. We engage the foundation, Alex Ikwechegh Foundation, engages in a lot of empowerment programs for the people. I believe the one that you are talking about is the one we did in 2020, where we had a 3-day empowerment program done in Aba. I think the first day we distributed food. I think that was during COVID, or immediately after the lockdown, the 2 or 1 month lockdown.
During the COVID, yes.
Yes. We bought trailer loads of Indomie. I was actually stuck in London then, but we were still able to coordinate it because of the fine people that we work with in the foundation. We managed to distribute food items the first day. We distribute trailer loads of Indomie. We distribute thousands of bags of rice, which we submerged into 10-liter bags, which went round, covered about 5,000 to 6,000 people in Aba. The next day we distributed kerosene and fuel. Kerosene was distributed to the masses. Fuel was distributed to Keke Napepe riders and Okada riders to sort of, alleviate their suffering. And we would also talk with them to sort of reduce the cost of transportation, at least for that day or two, that we have done that program. And the third day we distributed 10,000 naira to about 1,000 widows that we felt were doing what we call Aya Eludebo, petty traders that will sell maybe onions on top of a table in free zone or in a salad market. So we distributed these monies to widows. And then, but that's not just all we do. We also try to train widows on how to make different things, maybe to make soap, to make detergents, to make air fresheners, to just do things that can help to sustain them, things that can make them financially self-reliant. And we also have a scholarship program where we have given out scholarships to about 200 pupils, mostly primary and secondary. We haven't yet graduated to giving out scholarships to university students. We have renovated schools, schools that have been dilapidated. If you, sometime 2-3 years ago, we saw pictures trending online where students would sit under the rain and the rain would be falling and they would just sit there and wouldn't do anything. Little kids of about 5, 6, so we were touched. We picked up a few schools, we began to renovate them, and we have also donated transformers. We have renovated NEPA offices for NEPA people to be able to do their job diligently, to at least help in ensuring that at least electricity and power distribution is improved. We have consistently also empowered people with this our regular kerosene and fuel distribution. We do these things. People may say, this may not, especially the kerosene and fuel distribution.
Sorry, how old is the foundation?
The foundation is 12 years old.
Oh.
It was registered in 2010. 2010, and our activities began fully in 2012.
So what do you have in mind bringing that foundation now?
Well, this is something that I would say is congenial with my personality and that of members of my family. My father was like this. My father was a huge philanthropist in the 70s and in the 80s. He was a businessman, never liked politics. Anyway, politics then was even a thing that the military people were known for. But he was just synonymous with philanthropy. My late father, Chief Mascot Ikwechegh. At some point, he was immortalized with a song by Felix Ndukwe, Mascot Umuje Mono, Mascot Umuje Jembale, Ezubonwa for Igbere. So he gave out scholarships to people. He sent people abroad. He set up businesses for people. He was just selfless in, while he was alive, trying to ensure that his people were developed. And he did not discriminate. He never cared if you were an Hausa man, Igbo man, Yoruba man. I know people that have helped me, people that ran into me in very odd places and saw my name in a piece of paper and said, "Are you this man's son? I'm going to do this for you because of that man." I met that man sometime. I begged him for money. He gave me money in the 80s. He did this for me. He gave helped my daughter. He gave my son a job, and therefore I will help you. So it's something that I've even tried to see if I can stop, because most times if I have 20 naira in my pocket, somebody asks me for the 20 naira, I'll give the person the money and they'll just go home empty-handed. So I don't even know if it's a good thing, but it's something that I just like to do. So the foundation was set up as an establishment to help people, gather people and help them. So we started with just helping destitutes, people that could not walk, see. We would give them glasses, buy crutches for people, set up small businesses, buy small generators and clippers, and hand over to cripples to set up a small business for them. Then as God kept on blessing us, we kept on expanding. So that is why we set it up.
All right, we don't have much time now. We'll go back to the business of the day, the primaries. Are you prepared?
Oh, sure.
You're prepared.
Very much prepared.
So your delegates, talk to your delegates.
Our delegates are also citizens of Aba and citizens of Nigeria. So what I appeal to my delegates from Aba is, let us try something new. Let us try someone who is actually ready for us to serve. Let us try electing someone who is sensitive about the welfare of the people. Let us try bringing someone who understands, who has also been through poverty and has worked very hard, indefatigably hard, to succeed in life, and has been able to succeed, that understands what it means to be poor and what it means to be successful, and understands how to bridge that gap between poverty and success, and understands how to lead a people from poverty to success. Let us not bring in people that would make frivolous promises that will never be actualized. Let us bring in people that have done it, not people that will do it, but people that have done it as businessmen, as ordinary citizens, people that have the hearts to help, people that are compassionate about the people's problems, empathetic about the people's problems, people that are sensitive about the people's problems. Let us give those people a shot. It's usually not popular to allow somebody who has done well to get into politics because it is considered that they will be uncontrollable, that they will be unmanageable. But I assure you, most times it is only right to pick someone that has lived all kinds of ostentatious life, that is now ready to really truly bend down and serve the people. What we are here to do is to serve our people, to bring about some level of fresh air. All the billionaires from Aba have run away. Most of us are living in Lagos, Abuja, London, Switzerland, America. We all want to come back. We want to come back and start building estates in Aba, building factories in Aba. But we're afraid if we come, they will kidnap us. But I'm here. I'm not afraid of being kidnapped. I'm here to work. And if we're able to come and sincerely work for our people, even the kidnappers will say, let us follow this person. And we will create an avenue for those kidnappers to also have something doing. And kidnapping will become a thing of the past. There's an article I read the other day that all the prisons in the Netherlands have been closed. I don't know how factual that information is. Most of the prisons are being shut down because there's no more crime. If you really mean well for your people and you begin to set the mechanisms that will allow people to actually do well and succeed, and you in your own turn you're honest about the welfare of the people, people will not connive against you, people will not conspire against you, people will follow suit because they have seen the light and everybody will go with that light. So I appeal to my delegates, let us change the narrative and not just saying it, let us do it. If you elect Onyocha Aba and give Onyocha Aba the ticket, we will make Aba your chapel. We will start small, but incrementally we'll get there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you viewers for watching this program, Political Perspective, Alien Station, ABN TV. Don't forget, our guest is Chief Alex Ikwechegh, an aspirant for Aba North, Aba South Federal Constituency, Abka Chieftain. Well, don't forget, my name is Ifani Okale, the anchor. Keep watching ABN TV. On our screen, you will see. Follow us on our social media handle, ABN TV on Facebook, ABN TV Instagram, ABN TV on Twitter. Also on our site, www.abntv.com.ng. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
The biggest bang of the season is about to go down. It's the ABN TV Service Awards 2022 at Sheraton's Hotels, Abuja. The biggest bang of the season is about to go down. It's the ABN TV Service Awards 2022 at Sheraton's Hotels, Abuja.